The Venomous Vipers were selected as Season 5 hosts after an excellent Season 4, and in the off-season they've been working tirelessly to put on a show for the rest of us here in the Team Quadrilla Marble League. And now, with the qualifiers done and dusted, it is now their turn to show what they can do in the friendly round along with the other auto-qualified teams and the relegated teams for Season 5. So if your team didn't have a chance to show what they can do in the qualifiers, well, they're going to get their chance here in the friendly round with the 4 same events as we saw in the qualifiers. Just like in Season 4, we'll have separated friendly rounds for the auto-qualified and the relegated teams, and we're going to kick things off with block bumping with the auto-qualified teams. Venomous Vipers as hosts, of course, starting it off here to the cheers of the crowd. This team got a bronze medal in this event last season. Of course, all of the auto-qualified teams did well in block bumping last season. First marble is going to turn the block there. We saw great distances in the qualifiers. Oh, 3 marbles will come very quickly, and it looks like a pretty good distance. The conditions reported in the friendly round not as great as in the qualifiers, so we expect shorter distances throughout, but that is going to cross 70, and that looked pretty solid impact from all 3 of those back marbles. 72.2 for the Venomous Vipers. We'll see how the other marbles can stack up. Of course, that's a far cry from the record, but still a respectable total given the conditions here. Now, Golden Cheese in the second round, the defending champions. 4th place in this event last season, just pipped to the bronze medal by the Venomous Vipers, in fact. We'll see how they can do here. First push is pretty solid, as it has been for most of the teams in block bumping. Oh, second one can't get much into the block. The third one is better. The fourth one's going to need a monumental effort to get close to the Vipers, and their teammates are in the way, meaning that the energy could not be directed into the block. Golden Cheeses, this is not going to be a good run here. I don't even think crossing 60, no matter what the conditions are like, that is not a good run in block bumping here. Yeah, 58.7. Pretty disastrous for the Golden Cheeses. Defending champions may be looking a bit worried, but still, 3 other events in the friendly round as we move on to the deep divers now. Also, pretty good in this event last season. 3rd place overall in Season 4. And of course, champions all the way back in Season 1. Turning the block once again by the first marble, but it does manage to stay in the lane. That is what's important, of course, and it goes far. Second marble can do a bit, but the third one can't get much into the block. Once again, a lot of distance needed to get to the Vipers, but that final push was very strong by Shipwreck. This might challenge the Venomous Vipers, definitely better than the Golden Cheeses. It's going to be close with the Venomous Vipers here. They're chasing that 72.2 mark set by the home team. The Queen Serpentine clearly very happy with how their team has done. 71.8 by 4 millimeters. They are shy of the Venomous Vipers. Still, that's a very respectable total for the deep divers. Now the Rosebloods, rebranded from the Red Lotus, of course, are Season 3 champions. Disappointed to miss the podium last season and only finish 4th after doing so well for most of the season. A chip on their shoulder, perhaps. Oh, 2 of the marbles coming together at once, and one of them goes off the track, but they have a lot of distance, and the third marble makes it go very far. The Rosebloods, they should be able to get it past the Vipers. Oh, the final marble can't get much into it, in fact, so it's actually going to be very close after 3 amazing pushes. With the Rosebloods, despite being a bit out of sorts, that looked really good from the team that won this event last season. Oh yeah, that final marble in the way. And 4.1, they still managed to get the win here, just about, very close to both the Venomous Vipers and the Deep Divers, but the Rosebloods, particularly because of those first 3 pushes, they do enough to get the win in the first event in block bumping. So Rosebloods will get the 4 points, then it's 3 for the Vipers, 2 for the Deep Divers, and 1 for the Golden Cheeses. We'll be hoping to turn it around at the other 3 friendly round events. We make way to the next event, the Obstacle Course. First time any of these teams will do this event, of course, the first time in Season 5 we have this setup. A lot of different sections in the obstacle course, a lot of marbles trying to attack this course differently. Azalea, Boa, Shipwreck, and Mozzarella here, and off they go. Venomous Vipers and Deep Divers get the better jump, but everyone closes up into the Gravitrax. Venomous Vipers now take the lead. Now Mozzarella of the Golden Cheese will take it. Venomous Vipers will have a go on the beam, but they will not get by. Both Golden Cheeses and Venomous Vipers went across the beam. The Vipers just about did not do enough to get by them. And that was very interesting. Look at this Deep Divers going off into the Golden Cheeses lane. Didn't seem to help them too much. And that nudge from the Deep Divers to the Venomous Vipers almost the Vipers managed to get by. We'll see on this alternate angle, the Vipers, I think, managed to stay on the beam just about longer than the Golden Cheeses, but not long enough. They shut the door on them. And Mozzarella, the most valuable marble of Season 4, will get the win here in the second event. Great bounce back for the Golden Cheeses. They're going to rise up to second place. Rosebloods in third, Deep Divers with 2 third places down to fourth. But it's the home team, Venomous Vipers, with 2 second places that lead the way halfway done with the friendly round. Now we make way for the Quadrilla Descent. Very interesting event this will be in the friendly round, especially because the podium for the Quadrilla Descent last season was the overall podium of the season. And Venomous Vipers and the Deep Divers, rematch of the final for the Quadrilla Descent last season. The Venomous Vipers, of course, got the win back then. Let's see how they can do here. 2 of the Vipers look ahead of any of the Deep Divers. One of the Deep Divers continuing to go, and one of the Deep Divers will finish. That is the Captain Seabed, getting all the way to the end, and no one else can. None of the Venomous Vipers. But the Vipers did seem to be more consistent with their 4 models despite having no finishers. One of the Deep Divers, I think, fell off very early. You can see down below there at the bottom already. So what's it going to be between these 2 teams? The Deep Divers, I think, should be able to get it. Based on that one finisher, none of the other Vipers managed to get, I think, even lower than 6. Oh, it's a tie, 19-19. Based on the tiebreaker, the Deep Divers will move on. That was way closer than I anticipated. The Vipers challenged them way more than I thought. But the Deep Divers, just because of the finisher, will be able to move on. Now, Golden Cheeses and the Rosebloods in the second heat. Golden Cheeses, of course, got bronze in this event last season. Also a past winner of the Quadrilla Descent, and they look ahead of the Rosebloods here. Oh, 2 of the Rosebloods won't be able to finish. Ooh, will that one marble finish? Oh, they're coming very close to center, just curling back there, but they're not going to be able to do it. That, I think, seals the fate for the Rosebloods. They are not going to get the win here, of course. Easily the weakest team in this event, particularly among these 4 teams, just because of how strong the other 3 teams are in the Quadrilla Descent. Rosebloods gave them a good challenge, but I think the Golden Cheeses should be able to get the win here, with 3 finishers to just 1 for the Rosebloods, but still only 5 points in it between the 2 teams. So the Rosebloods will be back in the blocks here for the battle for 3rd place with the Venomous Vipers. The Vipers, as winners of this event last season, will be hoping to get at least 2 points out of this, but we'll see what the Rosebloods can do here. Vipers have... Oh, 2 of the Rosebloods! 2 of the Rosebloods will fall off on the exact same level. I think that's the 5 zone. Meanwhile, the Venomous Vipers, all 4 of them will finish. That will seal the victory in this match for the Venomous Vipers, which will seal 3rd place in this event for them. That's some consolation for the hosts after getting knocked out in their heat against the Deep Divers. And the Rosebloods, perhaps a bit unsurprisingly, will get 4th place in this event. 40-24, easy victory for the Venomous Vipers there. But now you move on to the final. Deep Divers and Golden Cheese. This is a rematch of the Quadrilla Descent final from Season 2. Back then, the Golden Cheeses did get the win. One of the Deep Divers is stuck in the 2, but 2 of the Golden Cheeses are stuck in the level, just 1 below. So the Deep Divers now have 2 still going, 1 finisher for the Golden Cheeses. Oh, a 3rd Deep Diver continues to descend down, and the Deep Divers should be able to get the win here. They had 2 marbles that finished very quickly there, and then one of them managed to get themselves dislodged and continue to descend down the Quadrilla Tower. Now, if they hadn't already won by that point, the 3rd Deep Diver, Coral, managing to get all the way down to the end, will ensure that the Deep Divers, by 11 points, will get the win in the Quadrilla Descent over the Golden Cheeses. So that means we've had 3 different winners in the first 3 friendly round events, with the Rosebloods, the Golden Cheeses, and the Deep Divers. Venomous Vipers the only ones to not have got a win, but they're still in a direct tie with both the Golden Cheeses and the Deep Divers, all tied on 8 points. The Rosebloods the only ones that can't win the friendly round. They can still get on that top 3 spot, of course. But we move to the final friendly round event, the Quadrilla Race. This event very brutal in the qualifiers. A lot of teams very unhappy with how it turned out, but Feta, Algae, Anaconda, and Carnation will go here in the Quadrilla Race. 3 reserves, perhaps a lot of experimentation going on here, but Anaconda, the only non-reserve by the hosts, are stretching the gap to the rest of the field right now. Feta of the Golden Cheeses are going to try to catch up. They're not going to be able to. Anaconda, easy victory here for the Venomous Vipers. That means all 4 teams winning different events in the auto-qualified friendly round. So, Venomous Vipers, with this win, I think they should seal the friendly round, because it's a battle between them, the Golden Cheeses, and the Deep Divers. Pretty much whoever won this event among those three would get the win in the friendly round, so Anaconda will seal it for the Venomous Vipers. 14.52 for them. They will win the friendly round. 12 points to just 11 for the Golden Cheeses. This is great bounce back after that first event, and it's the Deep Divers and the Rosebloods in 4th place. And now it's time to turn our sights to the relegated friendly round between the Celestials, Nickel Knights, Heliospheres, and the Deserters. These 4 teams unfortunately couldn't get out of the B Division bottom 4 last season, so they're going to be in the Season 5 B Division, but we'll see what they can do here in the friendly round with the Celestials to start things off in block bumping. Off they go. 3 marbles go to one side. We'll see if that does something different for them. 2 of them will come quickly. Oh, the second marble can't get much into the block. We'll see how the 3rd and 4th can do. 3rd marble seem decent. The anchor, as we wait for the anchor to come here. Oh, and they're gonna get a decent push into the block. The second push particularly wasn't great, but aside from that, it looked okay for the Celestials. Of course, all of these teams did do this event last season, as it was in both the A Division and the B Division. That is in the 60s range, 64.8. Of course, shy of 3 of the teams in the auto-qualified friendly, but not all 4. They did manage to beat the Golden Cheeses. So Celestials, I think, can be fairly happy with a run like that. We'll see what the Nickel Knights can do in the second run. Did not do well in this event last season, turning the block with their first marble, but managed to get a decent distance. We'll see how the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th do. Second push is great. 3rd one, not so much, but that second push looked very promising. Can the anchor get it past the Celestials? We'll see. And oh, that final marble was not very good. If it was going to be a good push, I think the Nickel Knights would have surpassed the Celestials, but it's going to be very close. That second push was great by the second marble. But the anchor, the teammates weren't even in the way there. It's just the anchor couldn't get much into the block. And 63 flat, that is just about shy of the Celestials. So close with the Celestials, just a couple of centimeters in it. But they are not going to be in first place right now. Now, Heliospheres in the 3rd run. Also a team that struggled in this event last season, struggled in team events as a whole. We'll see if they can stack up to the Celestials and the Nickel Knights. First push is pretty solid. Let's see what the other 3 can do. 2nd and 3rd come in a pack, and it looks pretty decent. Not too out of sorts. The final marble can't get much distance into the block, but it didn't look like a very messy one. It looked fairly clean from all 4 marbles, just not perhaps the strongest compared to some of the other teams in the friendly round and the qualifiers. But 63.7, that will be right in between the Celestials and the Nickel Knights. All of these teams very evenly matched in the relegated friendly round. And now in the final run, the Deserters, the team that notoriously got 3 invalid runs last season, who did not set a valid run. Will this be when they finally set their first valid run? We'll have to see. The first 2 marbles come very quickly. They're doing a decent job so far. Look pretty good from those first 2 marbles. 3rd marble also pretty good. Can the anchor get it past the Celestials? It's going to be close here. The final marble can't get much into the block, but that looks high 60s. By my eye, that looked like it might be able to surpass the Celestials and the Deserters, the team that got disqualified from this event last season. They're going to get the win here in the relegated friendly round. 67.9, just a few centimeters ahead of the Celestials and the other teams. But the Deserters will start off in first place. New captain for them, Gobi, promoted ahead of Sahara. So maybe that's working out for them here. It's definitely worked out here in the short term in block bumping. They will get 4 points, then it's 3 for the Celestials, 2 for the Heliospheres, and 1 for the Nickel Knights. Now on to the obstacle course. Tar, Supernova, Helios, and Equestrian. Just 1 captain here for the Heliospheres. We'll see if they can get out to the lead. Yes, they do. They actually do start out well, but get held up in that section, and the Deserters now have the lead. Heliospheres will take it back. Oh, and Nickel Knights will go all the way across the beam, and they are the only ones to do it. So the Nickel Knights will go from, I think, 3rd to 1st in this race. it was really Deserters and Heliospheres. Deserters actually really sped up in that lane section after the block. Here's where Heliospheres make a move for the lead there, but then the Nickel Knights perfectly take the beam, and the other teams were absolutely no match for that. Heliospheres will get second, then it's the Deserters and the Celestials in fourth place. The Nickel Knights, once again we see the team last place in block bumping get the win in the obstacle course. The Nickel Knights will rise up 9.18, that is, I think, just 200th of the Golden Cheese's time in the other friendly. The Nickel Knights will go up to second place. Heliospheres also there with 5 points and third. The Deserters with first and third have the lead right now. They will battle the Celestials in the Quadrilla Descent in the first heat. Deserters very strong in the Quadrilla Descent actually. And we'll see what they can do here. Ooh, a couple of the Celestials falling off. A couple of marbles getting held up, getting tripped up by that one Celestial. Will be one finisher for the Deserters and one for the Celestials. And many of the other marbles getting held up or falling off on a similar level. So it's going to be close between these two teams. I'm not sure how to call it here so far. One finisher for the Deserters and one finisher for the Celestials there. Ooh, Deserters have one, I think, one in the 5 and one in the 3 there. So the Celestials will get the win here. 23-20, very close between the two teams with the Celestials. Perhaps a bit of an upset victory over the Deserters, considering the Deserters' experience in this event. Now, Nickel Knights and the Heliospheres in the other heat. Let's see who joins the Celestials in the final. One of the Nickel Knights is stuck further up. And the Nickel Knights trying to keep going. Oh, one of the Nickel Knights will fall on the last level. 2 finishes apiece for the Heliospheres and the Nickel Knights. Now, one of the Nickel Knights managed to keep going, stuck up there further up, but they did manage to keep on descending down the tower. The Heliospheres, I see 2 of their marbles at the bottom, but the other 2 marbles nowhere to be seen for the Heliospheres. So in fact, the Nickel Knights might have actually got the win here. And yes, they did. 33-24. Heliospheres 1 and 3 for the 2 marbles that didn't finish. That was their undoing for the Heliospheres. They're going to be battling with the Deserters for 3rd place here. And to see who gets the 2 points versus 1 point in this event. Deserters to the left, Heliospheres to the right. Oh, both of them will have one stuck up there in the 2. One of the Deserters stuck there in the 3 as well, though. The Heliospheres will get 2 finishers. Deserters also 2 finishers, so it's going to be a matter of how the other marbles do. Deserters have 1 stuck in the 2, and I think their other marble, Tanami, I think, stuck there in the 3, and they did not get going again. Meanwhile, the Heliospheres have 1 stuck down there in the 6, that is. That should be it for the Heliospheres. They will get the win here over the Deserters, and the Heliospheres will get 2 points from this event. There we go. 27-25. Just 2 points in it between the Heliospheres and the Deserters. All came down to that 5-pointer versus the 3. But now, to the final. Celestials and the Nickel Knights. 2 teams that have done decently in this event before, particularly in the meters. Oh, 2 of the Nickel Knights stuck up there in the 2. The Nickel Knights, meanwhile, all the Celestials are still going. I see no universe where the Celestials don't get the win here. Celestials, 3 finishers. Nickel Knights will get 1. The Celestials easily going to beat the Nickel Knights here. The most dominant match in this whole relegated friendly round in the Quadrilla Descent. 3 finishers for the Celestials. Great performance by them against the Nickel Knights, who did good to get to this final at only 17 points in the final versus 35 to the Celestials. Great run by them. So the Celestials sitting down in last place, coming to this event, they will get the full 4 points. Then it's the Nickel Knights will get 3 points. Heliospheres and Deserters in 3rd and 4th. So the Celestials, in fact, go all the way up to the lead, actually tied with the Nickel Knights on 8 points, Deserters and Heliospheres on 7, but any of these teams could win the friendly round going to the final event in the Quadrilla Race. Blazar, Chevalier, Tanami and Astro for the win in the Quadrilla Race and the friendly round. Heliospheres get a good start in the top funnel. The Deserters also in the top funnel. Celestials and the Nickel Knights on the bottom. Celestials will beat the Deserters out for 2nd place. Deserters now battling for 2nd place. Celestials are slow. There's the Deserters will get by with the Heliospheres. Clean throughout will go from 1st all the way from the funnels to the bottom. Heliospheres will get the win here. Will that be enough for them to launch all the way from the bottom to 1st place in the friendly round? Great move there by the Deserters as well to get by the Celestials, capitalizing off the Celestials slowing down. Nickel Knights, unfortunately, will get 4th place with their captain. But the Heliosphere is 14.52 seconds. Good time by Astral there, a marble that has done well in the Quadrilla race before. And as a result, the Heliospheres go from last to 1st in the relegated friendly round. The Zertors will be 2nd, Celestials 3rd, but great run by the Heliospheres and Astral for winning the Quadrilla race and the friendly round as a whole. Thank you so much for watching the friendly round here with the auto-qualified and the relegated teams. And now with the qualifiers and the friendly round complete, we're going to turn our sights to the main tournament of the Team Quadrilla Marble League in Season 5. So stay tuned for then.